Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 11 of the Advent Calendar, and we are joined on a podcast today to talk about something different rather than me doing a video gameplay. We're going to do a podcast to bring it back, and we have got a really interesting podcast as well. So we are going to be joined by Shane really shortly. But obviously we're going to speak on FC25 and the current state this game is currently in. Bit of a worrying game, I know, but I still want to feel like I should touch on the game a little bit and go over some bits and bobs on what the current state this game's currently in, of where it needs to, I think, should be really further down the line. But before I get into any more details on today's video, please do go drop a like down below and also subscribe as well to the channel if you guys are also new as well. And obviously, if you are returning as well as a subscriber, much appreciate it. So follow me down below in the comments. And yeah, so as said, we're gonna go jump into the podcast. And I was very, very privileged to be joined by Shane as well. So obviously, big thank you to Shane for obviously helping us out on the podcast today, with obviously a guest being on. And yeah, let's get into the video. All right. Well, I might as well go into the lounge as well quickly. Let's do that. Right, Mr. Shane, how are we?
Not too bad, mate. How is yourself?
I am okay, I suppose. In a way, could say that. How's Shane?
Yeah, I've not been too bad, mate. Thank you for asking.
Good to
Obviously, we're on the topic of EAFC today, so
sadly.
yeah. I mean, where do we start?
Well, I could say the exact same situation on that one, but I think we'll start off with gameplay. I think I don't know what we want to go first on the state of the gameplay. I don't know if you want to go on it and me elaborate, or be elaborate and then you speak on it. It's entirely up to you.
Well, the first thing to say is, genuinely, gameplay right now is horrible, especially after the last couple of updates.
Yeah,
it feels like it's slowly deteriorating.
yeah.
And certain gameplay aspects are definitely unrewarding.
I could probably agree on that. I think if I had to sum up on what's the worst part of gameplay, I mean, I don't think the computer sometimes understands where the players need to be, but I cannot stand and stress about it too much. Passing, I hate it.
Yeah, passing is so inconsistent.
Yeah, the amount of times. I mean, obviously, I could probably even pull up on here, but I'm not. But obviously, I remember because I might have been last week, I think, with the stream or something. But I think it was after the two updates in 2 days, which still baffles me, the fact they did 2 updates and didn't bring out a single bit of gameplay improvement or just any improvements in gameplay at all.
No, I couldn't agree.
Honestly, I mean, the amount of times where the player is not able to make a 2-yard pass, never mind another top through ball, whatever, 2-yard passes are just in general so inaccurate, too inaccurate, I think, with how they do it. I don't know whether they have to sit behind the monitor all day trying to tweak little bits of gameplay coding to make it feel like something's been improved. But I feel, personally, this is where I feel with it, I feel like they have an urge to do it every single day, maybe at least 3 times a week, if not probably 4 times a week. They have to change the gameplay because of it. It feels like they just change it every single day. It's never consistent. Always feels different with obviously shooting.
That's another thing as well with obviously gameplay, is apparently they're doing live tuning. So obviously it's during gameplay where you're noticing like all these differences of like passing being inconsistent, shooting being inconsistent, defending being terrible. You know, you've got fast fullbacks, for example, and they're still getting outpaced by, slow wingers.
Yeah, it's baffling. It is beyond baffling. I still wish I think they should have kept FC24's gameplay. I don't know if you'll probably feel the same on that, but I felt it were better than this year. This is by far the worst gameplay I've probably played throughout probably a lot of the actual FIFA games, or obviously currently where I see as the title of the game. But still, it's in my opinion, it's the worst. I can't, as I said before, I can't stress enough how bad the passing is. Shooting's not too bad. Sometimes it can be a bit obviously off, but I mean it's the same old. But passing, I find a ball like defending's not too bad either. But just passing in general is sometimes, say, for on your good day, it's obviously going to be good for you, but half the time and most of the time, it always kind of seems like it's restricting you from wanting to make a 2-yard pass. Never mind any other sort of passes or whatever you're trying to do. Just restricts you from doing it.
No, I completely agree with that because obviously, like, let's revert back to like FIFA 21, FIFA 22. That gameplay was perfect.
Yeah.
It didn't need touching whatsoever. I found that game perfect because I know for a fact back then I had well over 1,000 hours on each of them games.
Bloody hell.
And this game this year, I've genuinely probably put about 100 hours, if that. And I stopped playing this game for probably about a month or two now.
Yeah.
And I genuinely do not enjoy it from. Would I say a casual? I mean, I like foot champs, but as a casual, I don't find it enjoyable.
No. No. Well, obviously, it's say for him, it makes perfect sense if you obviously, from your point of view, if you're not going to obviously want to invest time into the game, then what's the point? Obviously, playing a game that's not finished. I still think it's an unfinished game the release because the amount of issues that game, especially like with bugs as well and menus. Oh god, can't tell you the amount of times I must have had like a menu crash happen every time I load the game up straight away. Too easy to just call it, and
The constant freezing off after SBCs and whatnot. Like you do an SBC and you try and go to the store and it freezes, then you're having to restart your game and do it again, and then it freezes again, and you're like, for God's sake, why am I playing this game?
Yeah, it's just say far. I'm not touched foot champions gameplay, and I don't think I want to touch foot champs gameplay. But I've played a lot of rival games, probably a lot more than any other game mode. Really, we'll touch obviously up and rushing a little bit, but the
Yeah.
rivals is the main one that I've played, and I can, as I said, the amount of times where gameplay one day can be really good, and then next day, or even like a couple of games, like me and Henry played yesterday, obviously doing co-op, and we I'd say relatively most of the I'd say about the first three games, we won two of them and lost and drew one of them, and the gameplay was quite fluid to us. We were actually doing quite well with it, good build up play, etc. like that, and doing what we needed to do to get the win. So we did, and then after that, it just after about an hour or so. Because I think we played for about I'd say at least 3 hours just trying to get our rivals done. We did it obviously in the end, but after about an hour or so, when we got obviously past the three stages of those three games, gameplay just got worse and worse and worse. And yeah, you could say, well, you get more sweats on it this time. And we did get a little couple of sweats here and there, but we couldn't make passes again. We couldn't do, obviously, the safe follow, as I touched on already. Passes is the main one. Tackling, not too bad. Defenders sometimes even getting the ball under the feet and it just rolls back to them. Rebounds, as usual, that's been another big minor on this game. What I hate about it, rebounds are unbelievable. How often it happens. It's like it's every single game. There's like a rebound goal against you, or
100%.
the ball just ricochets off your player's foot and goes into the player's path, and they're through and it's a goal. And you're like, what the fuck? But it's one of them. I mean, I as I said, I can't stress enough it because it is what it is. But if they had to improve it, I'd say revert back to just FC24 gameplay just for time being because that was a lot better than what we've got now to play with, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, as I said earlier, like obviously if they reverted back to the 21-22 gameplay, but obviously because it's under a different company now,
Yeah,
they're obviously trying to improve the graphics, obviously make it like realistic with all this FOV stuff.
yeah.
Like it's not. I get what they're trying to do with like the realism aspect, but it just doesn't work for a virtual game.
No, I can agree on that one. I think that's another gameplay spoken upon. Maybe you could speak on goalkeeper sometimes as well, being a bit off and on, but I mean, not really part of the gameplay. Sometimes it could be, but I wouldn't really class it as on the gameplay. Sometimes goalkeeping, but we'll leave it at that part.
The only positive that I'll quickly say on that is obviously with the goalkeeper movement.
Yeah, I think that's probably another point.
I'm glad that they've minimised it, but it's still a bit annoying when obviously you're making like the perfect shot to a near post and they still somehow save it if they're moving the wrong way. But then again, that could be physics, it could be mechanics, it could be the player that I'm using.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really. I don't want to say I'm guilty of it because I have done it a couple of times this year. Obviously, I think everyone has to be fair. I'm sure everyone's been the keeper at least once. There's no way no one's not been the keeper at least once in a situation like that where you're 1-on-1 and you got to try and keep yourself in the game. I'm sure everyone's fucking done it before, but it is frustrating, obviously, when you don't do it and obviously the opponent's doing it just to be an absolute wet wipe. I won't even swearing on that one, but it does happen a lot, and obviously, like you said, they have obviously minimised it quite a lot, to be fair, which is a good thing, but like you said, they can still do it, but not as much as they could have done, which is relatively a pro, I suppose, in a way. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think in general you're supposed to be to keep it anyway. Like even from corners is annoying. I hate corners when it happens. You can have like dead ball plus, and obviously, yeah, you could still get it in, obviously using dead ball. But the amount of times I must have a corner in at least a game or something like that, and then next minute, oh wait, the opponent's moved the keeper to the flipping penalty spot. Where do you see a keeper get moved to penalty spot in real life?
Yeah, exactly. They're always on
They're
their
always on the
line.
flipping line. They never leave the line from a corner. But EA, or obviously in general, this game, or well, it's happened for quite a long time. To It's not just this game, but it's happened over a course of other, obviously FIFA's and obviously FC as well from last year as well. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of the same one. Next topic I think we're going to speak upon is evolutions. It's not really a negative, I don't think, this year's evolutions. You could probably,
No,
I don't
it's
know,
definitely been a positive. That's for
yeah,
certain. Because obviously during Black Friday they were releasing is it
yeah,
Flashlight
the Flash
Evolution?
Evos they brought out a couple, didn't they? Can't
Yeah,
remember off my
so
head, but
there's definitely certain aspects to what is great about evolutions, but the only downside to evolutions is you can't evo a goalkeeper.
yeah, it's a bit
Let
of a
us evo a goalkeeper to make the game fun. Because if we're doing past and presents, like obviously I've got a friend called Tom who does a QPR past and present. He wants to evo his goalkeeper, but he physically can't
mm,
because obviously they've not implemented it. It
yeah.
is like if people are wanting to run them sort of evos and stuff, like at least allow them to do it with the goalkeepers as well.
Yeah,
There's no point just making it like
just for outfield
defenders,
players, really.
midfielders.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
outfield players.
it's shambolic at times.
Mm. Touched upon obviously the Flash Evos. Obviously, they brought out I think 6 Evos. I'm just looking now quickly. They brought out
Mm.
pitch vision, precision shooter, speed burst, defensive first, that elusive dribbler, and also full force. I think I did all of them apart. I think I missed out on one of them because I've kind of messed up on it a little bit, which I think was the dribbler one. But yeah, like you said though, they did drop quite a lot of Evos on Black Friday. But as I can relate to that comment though about obviously the keepers not being able to be evoed. I think that should be a thing. Um, don't know why EA don't see that. Why like you said, you can have outfield players evo, but then you can't obviously evo a goalkeeper. Even if it's
Yeah,
like restricted like ones. Let's say like I don't know. Let's see if you could restrict all the goal cards, like the high ones, like Edison's, Allison's, and Courtois. I can understand that, but like if you want like a keeper from like I don't know Championship, there's no way a keeper in the Championship could be like anything higher than probably like 70, or maybe just a tiny
exactly.
bit.
Like
You can
obviously,
make him 80
if
odd.
you're doing a past and present, like
Yeah.
obviously Harry Hesketh does it a lot, and he contemplates about getting goalkeeper evos into the game.
Mm.
Like if you're gonna make a 60 rated like bronze or silver, at least cap them at like a 75, or if they're a high tier silver, cap them at an 80.
Yeah.
Just make the evo a lot more fun to be used on this game.
Mm. I think it could be good though. Obviously, if they did bring out obviously keepers for evolutions, obviously I think like Martinez has got like a playstyle plus. I believe that Martinez Centurions kid. I think it is. I think he's got
Yeah,
88 one. He's got obviously playstyle plus. That'd be quite good as well. Obviously, if they did do the evolutions to goalkeepers, be able to get obviously a playstyle plus on it as well, which would be quite good.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Like obviously talking about playstyle pluses and stuff as well. I just want to touch on obviously informs. Specific informs every week do not get the required like playstyles from what they've done in game.
mm,
Like I noticed recently, there was a couple of like lower rated informs that had barely any playstyles, like literally one silver playstyle.
yeah.
Give them the playstyles that they've used at that weekend before they got in the team in a week to be usable. There's no point giving us 83 rated team in a week if you're going to make them unusable because they'll just go straight into SBCs.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree on that one completely. Um, like I said though, I can see the frustration from it for obviously why it doesn't get done, but it's just as EA do their thing they don't like doing it, and that'll probably be like another focus for next year's game. Oh, we brought out evolution goalkeepers now. That's what will probably be one of the topics to do. If they do it, that'll be one topic that made the improvement on or brought out that's new.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is frustrating. I can say for I can definitely vow against it, and obviously probably understand the frustration behind it all, which is fair enough. I do want to say, obviously, on evolutions, I think they've not been too bad as last year. I don't think we've obviously the objective requirements you need to do them. They are relatively quite quick to do. Some of them, not all of them, but most of them that you do are quite quick and easy. I know, obviously, I think there's one currently out that I think it's like the Dino Magic. That's like 140k.
I believe it's 100k. I think the
100k.
El Torero is 140, and I think there's a Heroic Rise, which is 100k also.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like a really negative or a positive on it, really, for the price of it. But sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. I mean, you can be paying like you said, then 100 and something k for like a Eva that's not even looking good, really. Depending on what card you pick.
Just want to touch on that as well with like the cosmetic stuff as well. Like,
yeah,
they're charging like 10 to 25k just for a different card design. Like,
yeah.
why?
Well, I mean, I won't go against it, but I mean, I did buy the Lightning Strike for my Team Elite Messi card. I mean, that's a lot of things. Apart from that, no, I don't agree.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but in my personal opinion, I don't think it's really worth the value what they're asking.
Yeah, I can agree on that one. Next topic that we're going to speak on is SBCs. I think it's probably a good thing to fair the SBCs on this game this year. I don't think it's a bad thing to really speak about. Obviously, yeah, there's probably some SBCs out there that are really overpriced as well as usual. But they brought out quite a lot. I mean, I do like the World Tour ones though. They brought out obviously like the Di Maria they brought out recently with obviously that Tagliafico card. Same as Nicholas, well, obviously not Nicholas Tell, but Tell from Bayern as well. I know he got obviously a special card as well brought out by doing SBCs to get it unlocked as an objective. Obviously, I was unfortunate not to do that Tell card, but I might do Di Maria still. I don't know yet if I feel like doing that card yet, but SBCs as usual. I mean, I don't think they're a bad thing to really speak upon. I think they're probably a good thing to talk about because obviously, you know, they do bring quite a lot of rewards to you sometimes, depending which ones you do, and also your luck as well. I mean, you got player picks, you got bloody, mega packs, etc. Like that. I mean, I think everyone does like the nations SBC at the start of the game, which is just usual.
Yeah, the League of Nations.
Yeah, League of Nations, hybrid nations, etc. Like that, which is a good thing. I don't mind it, but yeah, I don't think SBCs are really an issue. But obviously, yeah, sometimes maybe the price at like an Ica one could be quite expensive. But that's probably the whole point of it being a expensive SBC. If it's a big icon like your Johan Cruyffs.
I mean, there was an expensive SBC at the start of the game. I don't know if you remember the David Alaba card.
David Alaba. Oh yeah. Is it the flashback one or something like that? Flashback Alaba. Yeah, the purple card. Yeah.
Like, it was released like literally like what, a week or two after release, I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah. Never did it, unfortunately.
He was extortionate. I was fortunate enough to obviously do him. And I can safely say the card is worth every single penny that was put into it. So like there are certain cards that are higher value that are definitely worth it, but obviously the gambling aspect of like hero picks and base icons it's obviously the uncertainty of what you're actually putting your money's worth into.
I can agree on that one as well. It's like those other ones as well, like you said about the icon ones and hero ones being gambling. It is true. It's not like it's not a gamble doing them. I was quite a big fan of the what was it SBC they brought out a bit ago. Turam, the Champions League one. Now, when I first did it, I hated the card. I couldn't stand it. I felt like I was going to flip him, lose me rag with it because it was doing me in and I couldn't get anything to work with him. But since I've changed that card a little bit, obviously with an Evo and also changing his chem style and also his position and tactics as well, he's been unbelievable for me. But he was a card that I at first regretted, and then obviously now he's probably one of the best players I actually enjoy using now. But it's like that though. I mean, I still feel like sometimes the stats on SBCs they bring out are lies. I won't deny it, and I think I'm adamant on that. I mean, like a prime example, it's not an SBC card, but obviously I think we all most of the time I think everyone has this card currently, the Adama card from the objectives.
Yep. I'm still using it currently to this day.
Still use it on the bench, not in my first team, but it's on the bench. But like stats for this card, right? I can go over them. I know from my head, but like you got 95 pace right on Adama, which is realistic, and you've also got the playstyle of Rapid Plus. There is no way on earth, normal. This is not flashback. Normal Casemiro can catch him, but he can still do it.
No, absolutely, yeah.
But like I've got Nico Williams who's got an Evo card and he's got less pace and also the same playstyle plus and he cooks everyone. I
Yeah,
don't get it, but like that's like a prime example of sometimes getting baited in by either obviously objective cards or SBCs, for example, where stats are shown to you and you do it and probably a little bit like you said about the gambling on player picks and stuff like that for icons. It's kind of like gambling for certain cards just to get robbed out of,
yeah.
and you
I mean, you can't really argue if you're getting like a free card like a Dharma. Like, obviously, it was
yeah
a great card to
exactly.
start with, but yeah, they've definitely like live tuned him to be a lot slower. Like
Mm.
same with Lewis's Diaz Trailblazer. Yeah, he has 93 pace. He has rapid, I think, or is it quick step? One of the
One of the
two,
two.
and he feels a lot quicker than what a Dharma is.
Exactly. I have that same issue with Nico Williams. I
But
don't
he
get it.
has less pace. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like how is a card with less pace a lot quicker than one of the fastest cards on the game?
Mm. It is frustrating. It is very frustrating. I must say on it. I mean, I tell you what, a good thing is with obviously this year we're doing with the SBCs, the SBC storage system. Do you like
Oh,
it?
absolutely.
No, that
I
is a good thing.
100% agree.
Yeah,
That is the
that's
best feature that they have added.
yeah. It's probably like you said, probably is the best feature they've added this year. I mean, amount of times you could pack the same player over and over again. I mean, I've packed God knows how many players, but I mean, at one point I had bloody is it Lerma from Crystal Palace? I think I had about 5 times my SBC storage. Had that 86 rated left back team of the week. I can't even
Yeah.
think of his name. Colombian, that Mojak, whatever he's called. Honestly,
Mallorca, I think his name is.
something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I had him
Yeah.
about 3 times as a team of the week card, and he was straight into my SPC storage straight away during Black Friday. Like obviously SPCs and stuff like that, and he was flying through my SPC storage like nothing. I kept getting him all the time, and obviously he's on my club once. He was obviously untrainable. Kept putting him in there, but yeah, I do agree though. I mean, probably a massive thing that they did bring out SPCs, right? Because the amount of cards, I mean, like last year, it must have took me, I think at this point as well, towards, well, no, I'll probably say about towards Team of the Year. I saved a load of packs and the amount of duplicates I had was unbelievable. I just kept having to quick kill them all, just discard all these untradeable cards because I couldn't put them anywhere else. Frustrating,
Mm.
but like, obviously we said then though, I think it's definitely a big pro, sorry, should I say, on the SBC storage. Speaking on the next topic, Rush. I don't know how I feel on Rush really. I mean, dropping matches, I hate them. Can't stand them.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that because obviously playing with randoms, it makes the game less fun because obviously people are putting their controllers down for easy points whilst you're there working your butt off to try and win the game,
Mm,
to get the bonuses, and it's like, what's the point? Like, I might as well see if I've got any friends on to play with the friends because the friends will actually help you.
yeah,
Whereas the random community will just literally put their controller down, runs off the pitch, and you're suddenly like 2 players down, and it does get stressful. I'm not a fan of Rush unless I'm playing with my friends personally.
yeah. I think I can agree on that. I mean, it's frustrating when you're doing an Evo, and obviously it's probably a bad example to pick on a objective type of Evo. But let's say obviously like you're doing an Evo that's just obviously Rush. As just in general, like is your objective like just Rush specifically, and you need to try and keep out goals, and you got to try and score goals and assists, and you can't do it because, like you mentioned then though about players just putting the controllers down, and you're like, how on earth can I get an assist when either people are leaving or people say four or off the pitch just doing flipping cartwheels around the bloody flipping touchline. It's like I don't get why they do it. Like you said, probably just to
Yeah,
grind XP out, but it doesn't make sense. If they're doing it, they should get kicked. There's no way that they should be able to say four, stay in the game all the way through it and just get easy XP
100%.
from it. It's stupid.
What they should do is if you're inactive or off the pitch for more than like 10 seconds, you should automatically get removed.
Yeah, a bit like COD, I suppose, isn't it? Because I mean, like
Yeah,
COD, obviously, if you stand still or something, the game will obviously, kick you out, which is fair enough. That's what it should be like. But with this, it's like you can literally do your objective points, obviously, your bonuses, get your card picked, lock it in. Next minute, oh wait, I won't play the game. I won't have my teammates out. I'll just put my controller down. I'll go on my phone and go play bloody flipping Flappy Bird. Like, what the fuck? I don't
yeah.
get it. But
No, I can agree.
it is frustrating. Or like, just makes me flipping makes me feel sick because like as you said there, you're trying to like grind out objectives or Evos, for example, and you just can't do them because you get destroyed by the opposite team when either one or two, or even your whole team, apart from yourselves, AFK basically, and you're screwed.
And that's one difference I do want to touch up on is obviously when you go into clubs as well, there is a rush game mode in clubs, and fortunately enough, people don't AFK in there.
Yeah.
So obviously you're all getting your pros leveled up, so it does help in the clubs aspect. But for like Ultimate Team,
Yeah.
it is just so degrading.
I've played obviously clubs a bit for obviously Rush, not too bad like you said, but Ultimate Team Rush is abysmal. Say for dropping matches are without a doubt the worst of the worst I think for this game. As said, I think like you said before, if they're not obviously playing for like 10 seconds, some of they should just get kicked. Because it's beyond a joke. Career mode one, I don't really mind career mode. For obviously it's only for youth though, but it's not really a big thing. But I do like that though for the obviously the youth players. That is a good thing. I will touch upon on Rush and give it a bit of light. It is good for career mode, but not really for ultimate team purposes. Unless you obviously got a whole team that's actually playing for the objectives or like doing an evo, etc. And playing the actual game.
Me personally, I don't play career modes. I just don't indulge into that sort of thing. So obviously that's not my topic to really speak upon.
Yeah, I just thought I'd obviously mention it because I think it is probably a good thing to at least touch a little bit of
there
light
are
on.
some people out there that do obviously like take their championship team to the Premier League and whatnot, and it's a good watch. Whether there's improvements and stuff, I wouldn't know personally, but I do enjoy watching people do it.
Yeah.
But for me, myself, I can't indulge myself into that sort of like genre of the game.
Fair enough on that one. I mean, I tell you what, I don't think I could disagree, but I played quite a bit of Cremo this year, my fair share of it. Still playing it when I can be bothered to, but as said though, I do enjoy the rush aspect of obviously create for the youth players. It gives them something to do rather than doing nothing with them, I suppose, and gives them a bit of game time. And obviously gets you a chance to get to use other players, not cards, to try out.
Agree.
Big topic. Not really looking forward to this one, but rivals, and obviously the rewards that come with it. I don't even want to start with this one.
Where do we start?
Where do we start with rivals? I mean,
I guess we start at the beginning because obviously I believe it was how many wins that you needed? 15?
I think it was 15 wins, yeah, something like that.
How they ever thought about people who work 9 to 5s coming home
to go and
playing
play
for like an hour or two a night and barely getting that amount of wins during the week is absolutely abysmal.
It was horrible, and say if I was there at the very start of the game, and I still don't enjoy doing it now. When you complete your rival rewards, and you've done them all, you're like buzzing. I can go play whatever I want to do, or I can go do something else rather than play a game. I can go, read a book or watch a film or whatever. Then do that. But when you've had your little moment where you're not playing it and you realise that you got to go and play it again the week after, you're like, oh god. And the worst part about it is when you've got to do it on the certain day. Like for me, I always trade my rival games. I never do it straight away once I've done it. Obviously, after the first day when obviously rewards come out, I always wait a couple of days because I don't want to go straight into it again and go right. That's it. I can understand people doing it because yes, you get it out of the way. It's not really, you don't have to flipping worry about it again after that. But I just want a couple of days break from it. There's no way I'm going to go play it straight away again. But I mainly do it. If I can, Sunday night, but mainly ends up being Monday and Tuesday. But obviously yesterday, me and Henry locked in and did it all, most of it yesterday. So it basically Monday, but Monday and Tuesday are my days that I play rivals usually, just because I can't be able to play on the weekend. But
no, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
because obviously your weekends are supposed to be enjoyable. You're not supposed to like be what's the word? Antagonized with obviously. Oh, I've got to do this. This is going to ruin my weekend. Because if I don't do it today, then I'm obviously, if you're doing something the next day or the next couple of days, you're thinking like, damn, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Because obviously you, from a content creator standpoint, obviously it's beneficial for you. Whereas like a normal person working a 9 to 5 that doesn't do it for that sort of aspect is like, well, what's the point?
It's just one of them. I say I don't I never enjoy doing rivals. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you can win like 3 games on the bounce and you'd be happy. I mean, I'm obviously in Division 3 now and I don't find it too bad, but just like, even lower divisions, I hate it. Like, Division 4 and 5 was a bollocks to get out of, but like that though, like, obviously working 9 to 5 is not an easy thing to do to come on to it and then go, oh, I've got to go play rivals now. And then comes Thursday, you've done your rival rewards upgrades and you get nothing out of it. It's not rewarding enough. Yeah, you can get tempted by the fact that you get, like, currently obviously where we are at the stage of this game, you're getting those rival mastery mode pack players things, bobs, doodad things that go into SPCs. You're getting like
Yeah.
80 times 20s and you're getting 80 times 30s. Mega packs, fight your ass, 50k. Yeah, I suppose it is a little bit rewarding, but I still don't feel like it's rewarding enough to keep playing it each and every single week consecutively because of it.
No, I can 100% agree upon that.
Because
The
go
only
on.
great factor I'd want to say is obviously uh being in like the higher divisions, so Div 2, Div 1, Elite. Obviously, there's no safety barriers this year. Once you get past, I think is it halfway through Div 3 that there's a block
Yeah,
that you can
there's
stop at.
checkpoint. Yeah,
Yeah, so after that, obviously, it is basically skill based. So obviously, if you're wanting the better awards, then obviously you've got to earn it.
yeah. Even then, though, I still don't feel like you're still getting rewarded enough for doing like even lower division stuff. I mean, obviously, I remember when I was losing a little bit of faith for the game. I was when do I never anyway? Because I've already uninstalled the game once and shit, and also wrote review on the game because it's that bad. But
Yeah.
doesn't make the point. As saying, I mean, I would probably say 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the game, I was Division 4, and I was like, right, that's it. I'm going to wait until obviously the season finishes and just not play it. Played it for about a week when the new season came out in Division 5, and I already got better rewards in that division than Division 4 and 3 in together. It was ridiculous. But even then, I still overall feel like there's not enough reward for the hours you put into this game to do your rival
And, and
rewards.
and that's the thing, because obviously, as I mentioned earlier, like it is a gambling aspect game.
Exactly.
You're not guaranteed to have the best rewards out the best divisions. Like you could finish elite and barely make anything, and you could finish Div 9 and make 5-10 million coins. Like it's literally luck based.
Well, it's like what we were saying before, though. Back to the gameplay aspect, which I never see we spoke about, but I never touched upon obviously the fact of scripting and also the fact that sometimes the game doesn't literally everything in its power to stop you from winning the game, and I've seen too much of it this year where I've had a game where their keepers had an 8 point summit performance rating in the first 25 minutes of the first half because the game will not literally let me get a goal against him when I've had like so many clear cut chances to get a goal to go ahead or whatever, and the game's like, right, we're not doing that because we're not going to let him get his win. We're going to try and give everything to this pay to win guy. It's got buddy R9 Mbappe etc. like that just to get the win. But it, like you said though, it is gambling. There's too much gambling in it. But also, as I said,
100% it is.
scripting
It's always
is
been
there.
a gambling aspect ever since it was first created.
Mm.
Like
It,
I understand that they've got to make money and stuff, but like
it's the wrong
the
way to
the
make money
gambling,
though.
yeah, it's me personally. I wouldn't invest heavily into a game like this because it will become an addiction, and you'll end up spending thousands and thousands of pounds,
To basically still like you
all
said,
all to have the enjoyment of like as you were talking about like the R9s, the Mbappes. You're only going to have 9 months with that card
yeah, until obviously another
before the
card
new game
comes.
comes out, and
Yeah.
then you're wasting like what another 70 to 100 quid on the next game, and then you're putting like another grand into the game, and it's a rinse and repeat.
It's
It's not
repetitive.
healthy.
It's like a cycle of repetitive. It's repetitive type of like
Like I
cycle in it really.
understand if you're doing it for money aspects, like obviously you got all these pro players that obviously spend money on the games that obviously go to tournaments and win money back. Like that's understandable. But if you're like a normal person or a content creator, I wouldn't bother personally.
Yeah, I can agree on that. But like I said though, there's definitely aspects. I don't think just in this game. Obviously, there's always aspects in every single type of FIFA game, or obviously currently where we are FC, where there's scripting aspects because of it, and that's what I think causes the gambling addiction with it. Where, as we mentioned on gameplay, passing can sometimes be, well, not just sometimes, is abysmal. Where you've got a player like Modric, let's say, for example, is like 7 or 86 rated overall, can't make a pass for his life, and you're like, God's sake, is it me or is it the game? And then this is where, obviously, like you said before, the gambling factor comes in where, right, well, if Modric can't do it, I'm going to sell him and open some packs and hopefully get some coins in to go buy some more players, etc. like that. And I'll just, in general, spend more points to get better packs in quotation marks, to try and get some more things out of the game. And that's where I think, obviously, like you said, the gambling addiction comes in from it, and also the fact that, obviously, with obviously the scripting type of it as well comes involved as well with it, because that's what it does. That's where it
No,
catches people
100%.
out to get
Like, I can definitely agree. Like, there
money
is
in.
definitely some sort of script in the game to make even a worse player lose their head and be like, "Oh, I can't be bothered." And then you got like someone who obviously spends hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe even just like 20, 30 quid,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they will reward that player against like RTGs. Like, I've had a couple of games this year that I've played, and I've absolutely battered the guy in the first half, and I still end up losing. Like, I could have 30 shots to say therefore and lose like 4-3.
Yeah, it's
It is
frustrating.
it is frustrating. I cannot stress that enough.
Mm. But this way, coming on to the next topic though, and it's probably a nice little checkpoint to fall into, but improvements. I'm going to say it now, and I think it's fair to say that not 5 updates will make this game better, not even 10. I think 12 will make it better with the way it
I,
is.
I don't really think any sort of update will fix it.
I
I
think it
reckon
will
it's
still stay bad all the way for the year. I don't think it will get better at all, but like,
I reckon it was an unfinished product. They rushed it when they released it because they were so behind, and the downcline of the player base is definitely decreasing. That's
yeah.
for certain.
Well, it's like when Black Ops 6 came out, that was getting all the people from this game to go into that game, which is understandable. That is a good game, whilst,
That's
like we
exactly
said,
what I did.
yeah, exactly. Like, well, obviously, for this game, what we said already, it is probably drawing people away from playing the game to go and play other games like so, because of how bad it actually is. And like you said, unfinished. It is unfinished. There's no way they can't say it's unfinished as a game. Paying, what
No,
is it,
exactly.
70, 80 quid to play a game that's unfinished is unacceptable.
Criminal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
criminal.
criminal, unacceptable, every fucking name under the fucking earth. It is beyond me how people. Obviously, I know we've done it ourselves, but like, people still can defend this game with how, like you said, criminal it is, because of what it obviously what we got to play every single week or night or whatever. Whenever you play it, it's criminal regardless of what you do.
100% agreed.
But I don't think overall there will be any improvements. But maybe, like I said, 12 updates might not make a big difference. Sounds ridiculous. It's 12 updates, but still, they've already done it. They've already done it once with 2 updates. 2 updates they brought out in 2 days. Not a single gameplay improvement. Shocking,
Yeah.
shocking. I can't remember what they even were, the actual patch updates they did, but it was like something to do probably with career mode, kickoff, fucking seasons, clubs, whatever. But there was no improvement at all regarding flipping gameplay in 2 days of 2 updates. Unbelievable is the only word to think about that. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I can definitely agree with
yeah.
that.
Forward into the next subject, tactics and the new tactics system. I don't know how I feel on it really, because I do like football and tactics and all that lot, but I feel like with the way they've done it this year with this game, it's kind of like a copy and paste of Football Manager, but a little bit worse. Because I know how obviously in depth Football Manager obviously is, and I played that game before. I do like the aspect of Football Manager of tactics with that, but this is kind of like a little bit of like a. It's like, sounds a bit mad as a comparison, but it's like WWE and AEW. Like, WWE will always be the flipping, the top dog, whilst AEW is
Yeah.
kind of like the similar type of product, but never going to be that top thing. And that's what I think. Obviously, EA have tried to do with obviously FM with their tactics system, try and implement what they've done into their own type of creation. Try and put little aspects of what they've used from obviously their other ones, and try to make it their own thing. Where you could say it works a little bit. I mean, obviously the formation I use currently in my obviously tactics, they work fine for me. But like overall, though, I mean, I must use about 15, 20 formations this year. Same ones as well sometimes, and just tweaked tactics every couple times in games and stuff. And it doesn't feel like there's much of a difference regarding what you do. Obviously, formation wise, whether you're using a 3-back, 5-back, 4-back, whatever, that does make a difference. But whether you're like using the same type of formation, or you're changing one or two people's player instructions, doesn't feel like making much of a difference at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've used the same formation that I have the last couple of years,
Yeah.
and obviously I've tried to adapt with the new tactic system. Obviously, using the advanced forward aspect and all this, and it's got its positives and it's got its negatives. There are good positives and there are good negatives.
Mm.
Like obviously, you can't really play players out of position. Like for example, if you're subbing on like a centre back at right back, it will 100% play it out of place because it's not its preferred position.
Yeah.
Therefore, you'll definitely notice that in game. And obviously, the positives with like using Poacher Plus or is it Target Man?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, there's certain attacking ones that are great. Defensive ones are great, like Stopper. It's it's a mixture of emotions using it this year. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think I still, if I had to like speak on it, what I've heard from last year's to this year's, I still prefer last year's compared to this year's. I still like the instructions that they've done, like obviously, like you said, target man and all that lot still, and also using false nine, etc. like that, and also different types of tactic presets. It's cool. It's nice. It's nice to see like you can do different things with your team, and obviously formation tweaks and stuff like that. It's still kind of the same as well as last year, but just not as, what's the word? People I know at the start of the game get saying like, "Oh, it's so confusing. It's so
Underdeveloped.
yeah, underdeveloped. It's so confusing. It's confusing. This. People complain about it, and yeah, it's because they're not used to that. They've not played either FM or they're just obviously not used to this type of new aspect of tactics and instructions of your team. But I still, if there was a choice, if there was a choice, I wouldn't mind reverting back to the other ones if I could.
I can agree. I prefer the old system over this one.
But that's where
Obviously,
I feel like I'm
like when you're trying to change formation in game, for example, it
at.
takes too long
Yeah,
because you're having to switch it. Then you've got to switch the players, and then you've got to change like the in-game instructions and all this. And it's just it's too much.
yeah,
It's too much to change something at this with this sort of like caliber of tactics and whatnot.
yeah. Well, that obviously we said then about obviously formation switches in game. Like I mean, like I think the last 2 or 3 games now in a row where I've had 2 formations in game. Obviously, my setup team where I set my team up as like a 4-2-3-1, then I go into game and play like a 4-2-2 or something like that or whatever, and I can change it in game to do that. That's what I like this year. Obviously, say it takes too long to do that, and obviously you can't even do it anymore with that either properly.
No, yeah, exactly. It, overall, this game, as I said, is underdeveloped. It shouldn't have been released as early as it was. Obviously, I know they had a time schedule and whatnot, but
Yeah,
it's
it's just
unrewarding.
yeah,
Unrewarding.
I
It
agree.
shouldn't have been released.
And I think that's where the last part we're going to speak about is the conclusion on the game. Like you said, I think this game should not have been released at the time period it were, but I do obviously understand the fact that it obviously does have a time period where they need to bring it out. But overall, though, at the current state of the game, and whether this game does get better over time, which I don't see happening, I still hate it, and I still will keep on saying I hate this game over and over and over again. But I'll still do the same thing though as everyone else would probably most likely do. Keep playing it, keep playing it, keep playing it, keep playing it because it's what it's meant to be there for.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, being a football fan as well, like you're not gonna adapt to UFL or eFootball because it's not the same sort of like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like realism, like gameplay wise.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
not that enjoyable if you're playing like UFL because it feels like PES.
Yeah,
Like it's just it's not up to date.
no, it is worrying. Say for the, I mean, I always keep saying it every single stream I'm doing in this game, but like the amount of money they make each year alone, just getting people buying the game. Never mind the money they make off getting people buying points or whatever, and they can't seem to invest even a little bit of money into it, where they can have a consistent gameplay, where they can have a consistent type of system where the game actually is enjoyable. Is
Yeah, like invest in different servers as well. Like they've
yeah,
got the financial background to do it. Like put a different server. Like it can't be that difficult to put a server in like Europe and whatnot, like in different places to make everyone enjoy the game.
yeah. I mean,
Like
I can
there's
understand.
constant games where I constantly get lag. Like I'll ping to like 80 to 100 ping, and my download and upload speed is well over 100. Like I shouldn't be getting 80 to 100 ping per game if I'm playing someone like from France or Germany or Spain.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
it is annoying. It is really annoying. So far, I will obviously, unfortunately, still play it, but at the same time, I will not have enjoyment out of it. I won't have the the hours that I put into it rewarded for that. I won't get the things that I think I should get and everyone else should get out of the game because of where it currently is and where I think it will stay for probably the rest of the year, with other updates coming out to the game throughout the year. Um,
Yeah.
but like so far, I've never hated a game that much ever. Never hated a game so much ever. And this is the prime example of a game I hate that much. I wrote a review on the game that I hated that much, which I've never done before. Never thought I'd even write a review on a game, but the game at one point joined to insanity where I wanted to literally smash everything in my room because how bad it were. But obviously, I'm not that stupid to go and do that.
Yeah,
So
because it's not worth it because it's going to cost you even more money in real life.
exactly. As much as it is frustrating to want to smash your controller, your monitor, your flipping whatever, you like you said, it's going to cost you more money to flipping doing that by just playing that shit. But yeah, I know people can be like, well, don't play it. Well, uninstall it. I've already installed the game, but guess what I did? An hour later, I reinstalled it to play it again. But I didn't play it the day after
Yeah.
though. So fuck it, yeah. But it's bad. It is bad, and I can't say for get my head around how people can say the game's good. And whether you say it's like a skill issue, there's no fucking way. I don't care. That you can shove that excuse in the bin because it's not an excuse at all to say it's a skill issue. It is.
100%. It is RNG.
Yeah, exactly. RNG, pay to win, credit card FC, every name under the flipping sun to say how bad a game can be, and this is your prime example of it. Would I give a review on it and on my situation of trying to, advertise to people to want to buy the game? No, I wouldn't tell anyone to go buy the game. I wouldn't tell anyone to go and spend money in the game. Why would you in the first place?
No, yeah, I agree.
But
It's
it,
as I said, it's gambling.
yeah, it is pure
But,
gambling, but
but
also at the same time, I think it just makes you lose your head because how bad it actually is. And even the simplest stuff, like menus, is another example, which is a bad part of the game. Like, oh, but even now, I can't really be asked emphasizing it because of how bad it actually is. But it's just, it is what it is.
yeah,
And it'll never,
unfortunately, we've got to deal with it.
yeah, exactly. We got to deal with it. Am I going to go by the new FC? At this point, I don't want to, but you all probably know the answer of it. I probably will do, but I don't want to. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
on that note, it's not getting another word out of me. So, F it. F it. I'm not saying any more words on it. But it's been a pleasure anyway. It's been a pleasure anyway, though, speaking on the game and also with Shane himself. It's been a pleasure as always.
Appreciate you having me, mate.
It's alright. It's been a pleasure being back on the podcast for a long time. But yeah.
First time I've been on a channel in a long time.
Well, yeah, properly, yeah. Not on a
Yeah.
stream, which is a
Yeah.
which is a first. But we'll see what happens. See what people in the comments say. Probably flipping. God knows what. We'll see what happens in that. But
Yeah, let us know in the comments what people think of the state of the current game.
yeah, please do.
Whether you agree with us, whether you disagree, what would you change?
I can see some comments being chucked about, probably towards some bits. But you know what? Bring
Yeah.
them. I know my standpoint where this game deserves to be, and it's rock bottom of every fucking game possible to be ranked. But hey ho. Anyways, as said, drop a like down below, subscribe if you can, also be much appreciated. And also, yeah, like Shane said, go and check out obviously in the comment section of what you think of this buddy game, because me and Shane have just give you a bit of a fucking lecture on how bad the game is. But I think it deserves its well fame of shame, and that's its final standpoint. But yeah, anyways, for me and Shane ourselves, we will hopefully see you again very very soon.
Yeah.
Catch you in a bizzles.
Adios.